My name is Amy Johnson Crow. I am a professional genealogist, and I help family history enthusiasts with practical advice so they can make more discoveries in their family tree and have more fun doing it. And what I want to do this evening is talk about some updates, some news, some cool collections and whatnot that I have found this week in the world of genealogy and family history. And there are some really cool things going on. The first, if you have Canadian roots, I want to make sure I get the name right. Okay, Library and Archives Canada, the big archives in Canada. Library and Archives Canada just released a new collection that they call Immigrants to Canada, Porters and Domestics, 1899 to 1949. Now, Canada, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they actually didn't have enough manpower within the country to fill the need for porters and domestics and farmers and things like that. So they actually recruited people from other countries to come to Canada to work as porters and domestics and even to work on farms. And what this collection does from Library and Archives Canada, it's an online database talking about those people that came from other countries from 1899 to 1949. And there were thousands of people who did this, primarily from the British Isles. So you have a lot of people coming from England, coming from Scotland into Canada in the late 1800s, early 1900s, because Canada was recruiting them to bring them over so they could find work as porters and domestics. Really cool stuff. And again, that's at Library and Archives Canada. What I'm going to be doing later, probably not this evening, but tomorrow morning, I will be posting on my blog all of the links that I'm going to be talking about tonight, and you'll be able to find those on my site. Get this up here. You'll be able to find it at amyjohnsoncrow.com/show notes. So amyjohnsoncrow.com/show notes. And that's where I will be putting all of the links to all of the stories that I'm going to be talking about. And if you go there, you can also find my previous episodes of Genealogy Weekly and all of the cool collections and whatnot that I have found previously. There's still some good stuff there. All right, so that was item number one out of Canada. Let's go ahead and go alphabetically to Colorado. Let's go out west. So Colorado, they have a tremendous website called Colorado Historic Newspapers Collection. It is fabulous, and they just did not only a site redesign, so if it's been a while since you've been there, it's going to look a little different, but they've also added a lot more newspapers. They have hundreds of thousands of pages of historic Colorado newspapers online for free that you can take a look at. They've run them through OCR, optical character recognition, so you can actually search them full text. Now, as we all know, OCR sometimes is a little funky and things don't come out quite as cleanly as we would hope, but believe me, it's better than nothing. And you can still go into individual issues of the newspaper and still read the whole thing without even searching it. It's really, really cool. Again, that's at the Colorado Historic Newspaper Collection. Very, very cool. Let's move back east. Indiana. And it was actually the image that I showed at the very beginning of the show. I'm going to flip back here and move my screen down so you can see this. This is from a new collection from the Indiana State Library. It's a little small, comparatively speaking, but it's 300 black and white photographs. They are World War II era photos of Camp Atterbury, which was a training camp located just south of Indianapolis. Camp Atterbury, and thousands of men and women. They also had wax going through Camp Atterbury. And the Indiana State Library has digitized, as I said, about 300 black and white photos from the World War II era. And this particular photo that we're looking at is officers of the 100 and believe it's the 157th Service Unit, or 150, I'm sorry, it's the 1537th Service Unit. And it's the officers there. Another picture that I thought was really neat was the inside of the chapel. So even if you're going through these photos and you don't find your ancestor, and what's cool is that a lot of these photos have identified the people who are in them, but even if you don't find your relative listed by name in these photographs, you can still go through and get a sense of what the camp was like during the World War II era. So again, that's at the Indiana State Library, about 300 World War II era photos of Camp Atterbury, which was just south of Indianapolis. Okay, going to flip back again. All right. The last one I want to talk about is actually a special thing that Fold 3 is doing right now. Through November 15th, Fold 3 is offering free access to all of their Native American collections. November is Native American Heritage Month, and Fold 3 is celebrating by giving free access to the Native American collections that they have there on the site. Also, if you go to Fold 3 right now, you might notice that they have changed their logo a little bit. They've gotten rid of the flag design, and they've added a chevron, kind of like a sergeant's patch. Looks really, really cool. And to go along with the new logo, it's actually reflecting a slight, I don't want to say change of focus, but maybe an expansion of their focus. Rather than just focusing now on U.S. military records, they've actually expanded, and they are including military records from other countries as well. So a couple of things out of Fold 3. First, the free access to Native American collections through November 15th, as well as expanding their mission and starting to include more collections of international military records. That's all I have in genealogy news for this week. Hope that you can use some of that in your research this weekend. Again, all of the links that I mentioned are going to be available on my blog tomorrow, and that will be available at amyjohnsoncrow.com/show notes. So you'll be able to find all of the links there. Thank you so much for joining me. Glad that you could make it here this evening, and we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.